Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Maggie Rose back with another video for you. Today I'm going to do a video on my experiences with both natural and an epidural birth. And I'll also let you guys know that if we are planning on having more children, I'll let you know which one of the two ways I am going to try to aim for next time. For now, let's just go ahead and get into it. I broke this down into, let's see, 4 different categories. And the first one I want to talk about is pain. Let's just get it out in the open. Natural birth is a lot more painful. Natural birth it hurts. Like, it's extremely painful. Not even necessarily the pushing process. That to me was a different type of pain that I could just kind of push through. But the contractions, and especially during transition, those were very difficult. So as far as an epidural goes, the pain of actually getting the epidural, not really that painful to me. I mean, it felt like a needle was going in your back, but that was about it. So that wasn't painful. And then because my epidural, I don't know if it's because they put it in too far or if that's just how normal epidurals work, but I couldn't feel squat. Like, I didn't feel anything during any part of the process. I felt like I was on my period because I had some period cramps, but I didn't feel a thing. I couldn't even feel pushing. Like, I couldn't feel anything. I was able to talk through the process, laugh through the process. Yeah, it was not painful whatsoever for me. So that was a win for epidural. In the pain category, epidural definitely wins because there was no pain whatsoever. Next category is complications. So complications for epidural, I had a spinal headache afterwards because they put my epidural in too far. And the way the guy explained it to me is there's a water balloon type of thing in your spine, and they try to get as close to it with the needle as possible without breaking it. And they didn't break mine, but they poked a hole in it, so it started leaking spinal fluid. And because of that, I had a really bad spinal headache that lasted between 10 and 20 hours. It's all very foggy, but it was the worst headache of my life. So that's the only complication I had with my epidural. But I know that some people have even greater complications or no complications from theirs, but I'm just speaking from my experience. But as far as my natural labor, I didn't have any complications in comparison with the epidural. There was no complications on the natural birth side of things. So that was super nice that I didn't have to worry about anything like that afterwards. I could just kind of be myself, which leads me into the next category that I'm talking about is comfort. For my natural labor and delivery, I could do whatever I wanted. I could stand up, I could go get a shower right after, and I did. I got a shower about a half hour after I gave birth, and I could walk around. I didn't have a headache, so I could do pretty much whatever. With my epidural, because of the epidural, I had to get a catheter, which meant that I had to get that taken out to be able to go to the bathroom, and I had to wait till my feeling came back into my legs before I could go anywhere or stand up or go to the bathroom. And it was harder to walk and stand after the epidural because I was just so numb for such a long time. It felt weird to use my legs again. So it was more comfortable after the fact during a natural labor because I could do anything. And not only afterwards, but like during the whole labor process, it was more comfortable to be doing things naturally because I could stand up still and move around the bed. They told me I could walk the halls and stuff too. With an epidural, you have to stay put. You literally can't move even if you wanted to. And that wasn't comfortable because it felt really strange. It didn't feel like my body was my own. And it was very uncomfortable to lay in a bed and get like numb and just feel very heavy because you have to have nurses move you every half hour. It was just not comfortable. The pain was definitely there during my natural labor, but I could move around and I felt more comfortable because I felt more myself, I guess. The last category that I have would be after pains. Actually, I'm gonna add a 5th category after this one. I just thought of this. So there'll be another category after this one. But as far as after pains go, and what I'm talking about after pains, I'm talking about whenever the nurses come back in and push on your stomach to help your uterus shrink back into place and all of that weird stuff with whatever the heck a fundus is. I have no idea, but they kept saying that every time they came in to push on my stomach. So you guys know what that is, let me know, because I know it's some sort of term with something to do with your uterus, I'm assuming, but I don't know what it is. But they said it every time they came in to push on my belly, and I remember that being the most painful part of the birth process with Aria. This time around, it still hurt, but like didn't feel hardly like anything compared to what labor felt like. So because I went through the pain of childbirth, the after pains didn't feel like anything, and I didn't dread them coming into the room every time they had to come in to push on my stomach. It was kind of nice that I had so much pain during childbirth, because everything after that kind of felt like a breeze. Whenever I had the epidural, everything else just seemed more intensified because I didn't feel any pain even during pushing. So the only pain I felt was everything that happened after the epidural, which would have been them pushing on my stomach, breastfeeding, all that jazz. And the fifth category is kind of mental / emotions, like what I was feeling. So I'm going to start with the natural birth, what I just went through with Malachi, with my second. So with his birth, I felt amazing afterwards. I couldn't believe what just happened. I was kind of in denial and shock as far as did I really just push a 9-pound, 2-ounce baby out my hoo-ha without tearing, without an hemorrhage, without drugs? Did I just do this? It felt very strange to me. I thought that I would feel more empowered, but I felt more in shock than anything else. It was just amazing to know that I did it. I felt really good afterwards. My body did what it was supposed to do, and everything went according to what my plan in my head was, and it was just amazing. Hardly any baby blues compared to last time. I feel so much better, especially postpartum. So with my epidural, with Aria, my first, that process was very different mentally. It was very strange being a part of a process that I couldn't feel. My body did what it was supposed to do in birthing a baby, but I couldn't feel anything, but I couldn't feel any of it. And it just made me feel strange. And I don't know if that's why I felt weird postpartum, or if it was because of all the drugs that I had been put on, like the Pitocin and the epidural and all of that stuff. I don't know if that played a role in my baby blues postpartum with her or not. The first couple of days, I couldn't even eat anything. I just had no appetite. I was kind of depressed. I don't know. It was just very strange, and it could have just been because it was the first baby, but I think it had something to do with the epidural and the drugs that I was on, because this time around has been completely different, and it all happened naturally, and I think that has a lot to do with it. And it's nice to know that I felt what my body was supposed to feel going through the labor and delivery process, and it was kind of really cool to be able to feel my baby move down the birth canal and feel him being pushed out. And that was just kind of cool to know that my body did that. God created our bodies to do such an amazing thing, and just being able to feel it all happen inside you rather than not knowing where the baby is and just listening to somebody else to coach you through pushing. It's just kind of nice to do it on your own and to push whenever you feel led to push. And it was just really cool. I told you I would tell you which I prefer. I guess you could kind of guess which one I prefer after hearing this video, but if Hunter and I decide to have more children, I will most likely be attempting to go the natural route again, not only because it was a smoother process for me, but because the postpartum experience was 100% better this time around. That to me was the biggest factor. It hurt a whole lot more, and if I was just basing this on the labor process, then I would choose to get another epidural because there was no pain, and it was kind of amazing to not have pain. But basing this on labor and the pushing process and the postpartum experience in the hospital and once you get home, I have to say that I would have to do a natural birth again, because the overall outcome was so much better. Both labor and deliveries went amazing for me. Both of the stories are very positive stories in my mind and will remain positive. My postpartum experiences, however, were very different. So that is the main reason why I would do a natural birth again. I hope this is helpful to you guys who are deciding between epidural and natural birth. I hope this also helps you realize that even if you go in with the intention of having a natural birth and you do end up getting an epidural, your story still can be amazing, like no matter what happens. So I hope that you guys who are about to go through labor and delivery have a great labor and delivery yourselves, and everybody else who's watching this, hope you enjoyed it just for the heck of it, and I will see you guys next week for another video. Thanks for watching. Keep smiling and keep finding the joy. Thanks. Bye. And the category that I'm adding is mental, like, I don't know how, mental. Should I clean or take a nap? Clean, take a nap. It's my birthday. I'm gonna take a nap. It for real is my birthday though. I'm not just saying that. Do you wanna